As we journey through life, time begins to reveal its inevitable effects on our bodies and minds. In our younger years, it's easy to dismiss aging, wrapped in the vigor and energy of youth. We push our bodies to their limits, confident that they'll always bounce back. Yet, as the years pass, it becomes clear that time is not a distant concept, but a gradual, powerful force that shapes us in ways we can't escape. The changes are subtle at first, creeping in unnoticed, but eventually they demand our attention. As we age, we start to realize the importance of honoring our bodies and minds in ways we never understood before. This journey is one of self-discovery, acceptance, and embracing the beauty of transformation. The hidden toll of small choices. When we are younger, we often neglect to consider how small, seemingly insignificant choices can accumulate and impact our health and well-being over time. The extra cup of coffee to fuel the day, the skipped workout because there are more important things to do, the late nights spent working or socializing, all of these habits may seem harmless in the moment. However, over the years, these seemingly minor indulgences and shortcuts begin to add up, and before we know it, they have subtly altered our physical and emotional landscapes in ways that are not immediately apparent. The body is incredibly resilient, but it is not invincible. Every action we take, every food choice, every hour of sleep we sacrifice contributes to our body's gradual transformation. And unlike the sudden changes we expect, these transformations often occur incrementally, so subtly that we only realize their cumulative effect when the damage is already done. For instance, the tiredness we feel in the morning, the aches in our joints, or the loss of stamina during activities we once performed with ease can all be traced back to these small decisions. When we disregard our body's need for rest, proper nourishment, and regular physical activity, we are inadvertently accelerating the aging process. It's not just about physical appearance, it's about vitality, energy, and the essence of who we are. The truth is that these small habits can begin to chip away at our inner vitality, leaving us feeling disconnected from the vibrant selves we once knew. But these changes are insidious, they creep in slowly, and by the time we notice, they've already become part of our reality. The mind-body connection. How choices affect our vitality. Have you ever stopped to consider how deeply connected your choices are to your internal vitality? It's easy to think of aging as simply a matter of external changes, wrinkles, gray hair, and physical limitations. But what about the more internal aspects of aging? The ways in which our energy, our emotional state, and even our sexual vitality shift over time. Our internal essence, our energy, vitality, and emotional well-being are affected by how we care for our bodies. We often overlook this connection, dismissing the importance of nourishing not just our physical selves, but our emotional and spiritual selves as well. Self-care isn't just about pampering ourselves with occasional indulgences. It's about making daily choices that honor the needs of our bodies, minds, and spirits. How we treat ourselves in our youth can affect how we feel in our later years, both physically and emotionally. As time goes on, the importance of maintaining this connection to our bodies becomes increasingly apparent. Aging isn't just about external changes, it's about how we feel within ourselves, how we relate to our own vitality, and how we maintain our connection to our emotional and physical well-being. It's easy to ignore the gentle calls for self-care when we're younger, but as the years go by, these calls grow louder. Ignoring them only leads to an imbalance between our external vitality and our internal essence. The impact of aging on intimacy and sexuality. One of the most overlooked aspects of aging is the impact it has on intimacy and sexuality. Society often views aging as synonymous with a decline in sexual activity or a loss of interest in intimacy. This perspective, however, fails to consider the rich and complex nature of human sexuality, which evolves over time rather than disappearing altogether. As we age, our relationships with intimacy and connection can take on new dimensions. The physical aspects of sexual pleasure may change, but this does not mean that intimacy and emotional connection are any less important. In fact, the changes that come with aging, whether they be physical, emotional, or psychological, can deepen our understanding of intimacy, making it more meaningful, nuanced, and fulfilling. Aging brings with it an opportunity for growth in relationships, especially when it comes to connection and emotional vulnerability. As we mature, we become more attuned to the deeper, subtler forms of intimacy, those that go beyond physical touch and explore emotional closeness, shared experiences, and mutual understanding. While our sexual desires may evolve, the need for connection and closeness remains just as important as it was in our youth, if not more so. In fact, many older adults find that their relationships become more meaningful and rewarding with time as they navigate the complexities of intimacy in a way that is free from the pressures of youthful expectations. However, in order for intimacy to thrive, it requires attentiveness, communication, and understanding. The emotional bonds between partners need to be nurtured just as much as the physical aspects of the relationship. In many ways, intimacy in later life is about honoring both the emotional and physical needs of oneself and one's partner, cultivating a relationship that is based on trust, mutual respect, and a deep connection that transcends the physical realm. The body's silent signals, listening to what it needs. Throughout my journey, I've come to realize that the body is always communicating with us. It doesn't shout its needs, rather it whispers, subtle signals that can be easy to overlook in the hustle of everyday life. These whispers are often ignored or dismissed as just part of getting older, but they are our body's way of telling us that something is out of balance. The aches, the fatigue, the mental fog, they are all signs that we need to listen more carefully to what our body is trying to tell us. As we age, our body's needs become more pronounced. The energy that once seemed endless now requires replenishment, and the physical demands on our bodies may feel more taxing. What was once effortless now takes more time, more care, and more attention. These changes are not just about physical stamina. They are about recognizing the intricate balance that is required to maintain our health, vitality, and inner peace. It is in learning to listen to the body's signals and responding with care that we are able to preserve our well-being and prevent the subtle decline that so often goes unnoticed. Too often we push through the discomforts, ignoring the subtle requests for rest, nourishment, and movement. But the truth is, aging doesn't have to be something that sneaks up on us unprepared. If we learn to pay attention to the body's whispers and respond with compassion and mindfulness, we can age with grace and vitality. This is the true art of aging, finding the balance between the demands of daily life and the needs of our bodies, minds, and hearts. The key to aging. Well, intentional choices and self-care. Aging is not something that happens to us. It is something that we actively participate in through the choices we make each day. Aging well is not about fate or luck. It is about intention. It is about making the conscious decision to care for ourselves, to nourish our bodies, to listen to our emotions, and to maintain meaningful connections with others. Aging well is about choosing to thrive, not merely survive. The key to thriving in later life is understanding that the process of aging is not a passive experience. It is an active practice, one that requires attention, care, and mindfulness. Just as we would tend to a garden to ensure it thrives, we must tend to our bodies, minds, and relationships with the same level of intentional care. Aging gracefully is about honoring the journey, embracing the changes, and choosing to live with purpose, vitality, and connection at every stage of life. In the end, aging is not just about adding years to our lives. It is about making those years meaningful, rich with experiences, and full of joy. By making small, mindful choices each day, we can ensure that the later years of life are some of the best, filled with health, happiness, and deep, fulfilling connections. The art of self-care, nurturing your body and mind for a thriving future. We often think of self-care as a luxury, something that can be delayed or skipped due to the pressures of daily life. But self-care is not just a momentary indulgence, it is a practice, a discipline, a series of deliberate choices that over time nourish our bodies, minds, and spirits. The care we give ourselves today shapes who we become tomorrow. It is a constant and ongoing effort, one that requires both attention and patience. Caring for your body and mind is a way of honoring the intricate, beautiful system that allows you to experience life. Every decision you make is a step toward maintaining or diminishing the vitality that sustains you. Every meal, every moment of stillness, every movement, or the lack thereof, each is a choice. And each choice, however small it seems, has a long-lasting effect on your overall well-being. We need to understand that when we decide to nourish ourselves with wholesome foods, when we choose rest over exhaustion, or decide to move rather than remain sedentary, we are planting seeds for a future full of vitality. The body thrives not on the minimum but on what is essential. It craves care, nourishment, and balance, not neglect. The power of nourishment. What you feed your body. The meals we eat are more than fuel. They are a direct investment in our future well-being. Every bite we take affects our body's internal balance, from hormone regulation to energy production. The quality of our food determines how well our bodies function, how energized we feel, and how resilient we are in the face of stress. It can be tempting to reach for convenience foods or foods that bring us short-term satisfaction, but real nourishment is an act of respect for the body. Whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains provide the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are crucial to maintaining our energy levels, preventing disease, and supporting our body's natural processes. But nourishment doesn't stop at what we eat. Hydration is equally vital. Water is the cornerstone of life, and it is often overlooked. Our bodies are about 60% water, and every cell, organ, and system depends on water to function optimally. Without sufficient water, our bodies begin to deteriorate, leading to fatigue, headaches, and reduced cognitive function. Making hydration a priority is just as important as eating well, yet it is something we often neglect until the effects become noticeable. Movement. Keeping the body strong and vital movement is another essential component of self-care. We often hear that exercise is key to a healthy body, but its significance goes beyond just fitness. Movement is the vehicle through which we strengthen our bones, muscles, and joints, but it is also integral to our mental and emotional well-being. The body thrives on movement, and when we move, we increase circulation, improve our cardiovascular health, and release endorphins, the body's natural mood enhancers. Movement also helps maintain flexibility, which becomes increasingly important as we age. The more we move, the more we encourage fluidity within the body, reducing stiffness and promoting ease of movement. A sedentary lifestyle, on the other hand, leads to muscle atrophy, joint pain, and a greater risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. The type of movement matters too. Whether it's a brisk walk, yoga, dancing, swimming, or strength training, finding an activity that you enjoy is key to sticking with it. Exercise is not a punishment or a chore. It should be something that fills you with energy and vitality. It can be as simple as stretching in the morning or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. The important thing is to keep moving in a way that feels good for your body. The vital role of rest: recharge your body and mind. In our fast-paced world, rest often gets pushed to the back burner. We live in a culture that celebrates busyness, but rest is just as critical to our overall health as nourishment and movement. Sleep is when the body repairs itself, restores energy, and detoxifies. Without sufficient quality sleep, the body's systems break down, leading to increased stress, poor decision-making, and a weakened immune system. Rest isn't just about sleep, though. It's also about moments of stillness throughout the day. Taking breaks, allowing yourself space to breathe, and stepping away from the noise of the world can reset your mental and emotional state. This concept of rest is also deeply connected to mental wellness. We live in an age of constant distractions, and it can be difficult to slow down. Yet, when we allow our minds to rest, we unlock creativity, reduce anxiety, and sharpen our focus. Rest is an act of self-love, a reminder to honor the need for peace and quiet. Listening to the body. Tuning into its signals. Self-care is also about tuning into the subtle whispers of your body. We often ignore its cues, whether it's fatigue, hunger, discomfort, or tension. These signs are not inconveniences. They are invitations to care for ourselves in a deeper way. When we push through the signals our body is sending us, when we ignore our need for rest, movement, or nourishment, we are denying the body what it truly needs. Our bodies are incredibly wise, and they communicate with us in ways that are often imperceptible until we are willing to listen. A headache, a sore back, digestive discomfort, or feeling tired after eating. These are all signals that something needs to be adjusted. The more attuned we are to these signals, the better we can respond with positive actions. This is where the practice of mindfulness becomes powerful. By paying attention to how we feel in each moment, we can adjust our habits to better serve our needs. The art of aging, cultivating inner strength and vitality. Aging is not a process of decline, but one of transformation. The way we care for our bodies in the present directly impacts our experience of aging. Aging gracefully is not about fighting against time or trying to preserve youth. It's about embracing the changes that come with age and making deliberate choices to support our well-being. As we age, our bodies change, our metabolism slows, our skin loses its elasticity, and we may begin to feel less energetic. But these changes are not an excuse to neglect our health. Instead, they are a reminder to care for our bodies even more intentionally. A balanced diet, regular movement, quality sleep, and mental rest become even more critical as we age. These practices are the keys to maintaining a strong, vibrant body and mind, one that can weather the inevitable changes with grace and resilience. We also need to remember that aging is not just about maintaining the appearance of youth, but about maintaining the inner vitality that fuels us. It's about feeling energetic, connected to our purpose, and capable of engaging fully in life. This inner vitality comes from how we treat ourselves today. The small choices we make, day in and day out, determine how we will feel in the years to come. Sexuality and intimacy. Embracing pleasure at every age. One of the most profound aspects of aging is the evolution of our sexuality. As we age, society often tells us that our desires, passions, and sexual energy should diminish. But this is a myth that needs to be dispelled. Sexuality is a natural and essential part of life, one that continues to evolve and provide pleasure and connection throughout all stages of life. Sexual intimacy, in particular, is a beautiful way to maintain a deep connection with a partner, but it also nurtures our emotional and physical well-being. As we age, we may encounter changes in our bodies, such as hormonal shifts or changes in libido, but this does not mean that intimacy has to fade away. In fact, for many people, later years are a time of sexual rediscovery, where the emphasis shifts from performance to deep connection, emotional closeness, and mutual pleasure. Embracing sexuality at any age is essential for our well-being. Sexual intimacy releases powerful hormones like endorphins and oxytocin, which elevate mood, reduce stress, and contribute to a strong immune system. In this way, an active sex life can benefit both body and mind, reducing anxiety, boosting happiness, and fostering a sense of connection with oneself and a partner. Unfortunately, many people avoid this aspect of themselves due to fear, shame, or societal judgment. This hesitation denies them one of life's most fulfilling pleasures. It's important to engage openly with sexuality at every age and to communicate with a partner about what feels right. Sexuality doesn't have to look a certain way, nor does it have to be defined by youthful standards. It's about finding what works for you in the present, nurturing it, and honoring it as part of your overall well-being. Taking action. What choices will you make today? Every day presents an opportunity to make a positive impact on your future health and vitality. The choices you make today are the seeds for tomorrow's well-being. Whether it's nourishing your body with healthy foods, engaging in movement that feels good, prioritizing rest, or embracing intimacy, each action matters. You are in control of your path, and the power to shape your future lies in your hands. As you move forward, Remember that the choices you make today will create the life you experience tomorrow. The most powerful thing you can do is to make deliberate, intentional decisions that prioritize your well-being. It's never too late to start. Whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, you can still make changes that will improve your life and increase your vitality. And the best part is that every positive change you make will lead to new opportunities for growth, joy, and connection. If you're ready to begin this journey of transformation, the first step is always the most important. Take action today and make choices that will empower you to age gracefully with energy, purpose, and vitality. You deserve to live your life fully, no matter your age. The journey of self-care and transformation. The process of self-care is a journey that requires patience, intention, and consistency. Every day, we are faced with choices that shape our future. By nurturing our bodies, listening to their signals, and prioritizing what they need, we set ourselves up for a vibrant and fulfilling life, no matter our age. Aging is not a process of decline, but rather an opportunity to rediscover our strength, our purpose, and our joy. So what steps will you take today? How will you honor your body, your mind, and your spirit? Your choices matter. They shape the life you live and the life you will have in the future. Make today the beginning of your transformation toward vitality, joy, and grace in every stage of life.